You're welcome. Hey, the first song was for you too in the first set. I got you. Maybe we should try the other one too.
All right, guys, welcome. We are Hump Day Trio, live from the Arrowhead Inn, Brick, New Jersey, right on the Jersey Shore. Put in the comments where you're from. My name's Neil Garthly.
We're gonna try a song. This sucks. That means you guys gotta drink up. Hi. How you doing?
Mo for you. You're a Mo, you schmo. Schmoby. That's what she said.
Patrick, come up here and play guitar.
All right, guys. So thank you for watching. We're Hump Day Trio live here every Sunday. Arrowhead in New Jersey, right on the Jersey Shore. So put in the comments where you're from. I'd love to see where you're from. Yesterday we had Saudi Arabia, we had like Indonesia, Australia, I think. So pretty cool. So put in the comments where you're from. I'd love to see where everybody's from. Also, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Do it. What's up, Metal Rocker? Sounds like Ozzy. Yeah, but it's so funny, that part sounds like Ozzy. We all figured it out. Yeah, it's all at the same time.
Patrick, everybody. Mother, I need your help. Mother. Mother, you think they'll drop the bomb?
Moments, grease sauce, metal
Yes,
rocker.
they dropped her.
Cynthia, and anybody else who's here. Thank you so much for coming by. My name's Neil Garthly. This is my channel. I have the Academy of Drums and Guitar. I teach drums and guitar. I play in this band, Hump Day Trio, every Sunday here on YouTube. So,
We're
glad you're here. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe and like.
Mother, better wash your hands.
Yes.
That's a Home Depot theme, isn't it? Home Depot theme's like. Buy your tools at Home Depot. Charlene. Tinkles, it doesn't take that long to tinkle.
Well, maybe she's not going to.
She's probably dropping a deuce.
She's not ready for that.
Dropping a deuce.
If you sprinkle when you tinkle like that.
Yeah, wipe the seat too, Mom. Hi, Trish. How you doing? Both Trishes. I saw you won a tournament, too. Good job. All right, I guess we'll have to wait for show. I hope she wiped her hands.
There's no paper on your shoe, is there?
You should go touch his face like, I didn't wash my hands. I know.
All right, wait for Charlene to come.
I screwed up that last line, but hey, you know what? It happens. I can't be perfect all the time.
Lois, everybody else, thank you
You
so
do
much.
gotta laugh for sure.
This one for you, Dawn.
While silence love you too.
What's up, Tess?
You just go right to the bartender. We'll get you a bartender.
I like you on a stick.
I like your lobster though.
So,
Best
one
love.
of my stick with Yoda, you can't come back here. Anyway, thank you for watching.
I used to go to
That
that
was for you,
lobster
dog.
truck all the time. But I got something called gout, and that's not good for it.
right, guys, that was pretty good. Come on. I think that was well deserving of a like, for sure. So hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're Hump Day Trio, live here every Sunday.
back. Take care, bartenders. Take care of the band. Stick around.
Whew. Tired. Grease sauce. Yes. I like Grease sauce's idea. I think that's a good idea. That's not a good idea. I don't know about that one, Grease sauce. I would love to, but yeah, probably not a good idea at this point in the adventure. Oh, Dawn has been a huge help. Dawn rocks. I love Dawn. Huge help over the last couple days. She was there all day yesterday. Man, what a trooper. Oh my crap. Oh, Lois. Thank you so much, Lois. Really glad that you're watching it. Yeah, Grease sauce. That was a day. I won't tell you. I did not want to wake up this morning. My body was like, no, you're sleeping more. So, yeah, Grease sauce. Yep, Dawn's awesome. Okay, what's up, Michael? Yeah, man. Thank you, Michael. Dig deep, man. You just have to. The show must go on. And you still got to play your best. Yeah. No, they're not numb. My hands aren't numb. It's just like my back hurts. It's always my lower back, mid back. That's the hardest part. And then it goes down my legs because my back's tired. So, let's see. Yeah, it's been a long week. Druid, dude. Thank you so much, Druid, dude. Sorry, I had to read that for a second. So, Druid, wow, I'm watching from the UK. Our band is the best. I think it means your band is the best. Seen in months, watching for streams and drumming sexual. Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it. Try to hit that subscribe and like. Definitely hit that. We got one more set tonight. I might start a new. I like how that kicked it up. I don't know, Dawn, if you're there, or Johnny, if you noticed that the person count went way up when we started that last live again. So that was good. And it drops off by the end of the kind of the set after we're done playing, right? So it's hard to keep the people there when there's no music. So I think I might cut it off and then come back in the half hour mark. Come back at 10 o'clock. So 10 to 11. Gives you guys a break too. You don't have to be here the whole time. So I think I might do that. Awesome, Druid dude. Thank you so much. Yeah, maybe I might, Grease sauce. Yeah, I think I might try that out. It worked out well that last time, and yesterday it worked out great. It's kind of a weird thing, but I always thought just hanging on and letting the live run gave better views, but who knows? Maybe it helps with the algorithm sometimes when it's not picking you up. Yeah, Johnny, that's the hard part. Drew, it depends on what Drew's mood is in. Sometimes he's up for it. Sometimes he's got his own mindset on what the set list is. So I can throw suggestions, but I can't guarantee it, you know? All right, see, Neil. Yes, sir. Tim Layton, thank you so much. Lois Grease sauce. Tim Layton. Michael. Yeah, hey, Michael. True, man. So, yeah, drinking water is important, man. That's something I haven't been doing a lot lately. I have an app on my phone that helps me, but I think I got to do it a little more. All right, guys, I'm going to take a little break. Why don't we cut it here? You guys could take a break, too. Come back in a half hour. If not, I'll see you the next time. But Grease sauce, thank you so much for all that you do, man. So appreciate it. Johnny, thank you. Michael, thank you. Tim, Lois, Grease sauce, Dawn, Lati, Druid, dude, thank you so much. Come back in a half hour, buddy, if you can, because we're on a break right now, so no need really hanging out. All right, Dawn, thank you so much. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Toodaloo, kangaroos. Hit that subscribe and like. Come on, do it. Hit that subscribe and like.